On a quiet evening in the summer of 1997, 16-year-old Emily Hart vanished from her suburban neighborhood in Aurora, Colorado. She was last seen walking home from a friend's house just 6 blocks away. She never made it back. This is the story of a missing girl, a town that refused to forget her, and a cold case that continues to haunt investigators nearly 30 years later. Emily was the middle child in a close-knit family. A talented pianist and honor student, she was known for her bright smile and quiet determination. On July 12th, she had spent the afternoon at her best friend's house. She left around 9:15 p.m., just before dark, and told her friend she'd be fine walking the short distance home. She never arrived. Her parents reported her missing within hours. What followed was one of the most intensive searches in Colorado's history. Over 200 volunteers scoured parks, creeks, and wooded trails. Flyers were plastered across the city. Helicopters flew overhead, using infrared to scan the terrain. Police questioned neighbors, classmates, and anyone who had been in the area that night. One witness, an elderly man walking his dog, claimed he saw a girl matching Emily's description getting into a dark sedan near the corner of Westbrook and Fifth Avenue. But the tip led nowhere. The car was never identified. There were no signs of a struggle, no fingerprints, and in the pre-digital age, no surveillance footage to help piece together what happened. As the days turned into weeks, Emily's case made local headlines. Her parents appeared on the evening news, pleading for help. Her school held vigils, and a nearby church organized weekly walks through the neighborhood in her honor. The community held on to hope, but no credible leads ever emerged. Rumors began to swirl. Some believed she had been taken by a stranger. Others suspected someone she knew. A few even suggested she had run away, though those closest to her never believed that for a second. Then, a decade later, in 2007, there was a break. Construction workers clearing land for a new housing development 12 miles outside the city discovered a shallow grave in a wooded area near an old service road. Inside were the remains of a teenage girl. DNA tests confirmed what everyone feared. It was Emily Hart. But rather than bring closure, the discovery raised more questions than answers. The autopsy revealed blunt force trauma to the head and signs of restraint. The location was remote and unused since the late 1990s. Whoever buried Emily had gone to great lengths to keep her hidden, and they had left no trace of themselves behind. The case was reopened. Investigators revisited old interviews and evidence. They re-examined suspects, including a former high school teacher who had been quietly fired in 1998 for inappropriate behavior with students. He had taught at Emily's school and lived just 3 blocks from her house, but there was never enough to charge him. Years passed. Then, in 2019, a new forensic approach sparked hope. Using genetic genealogy, analysts identified a partial DNA match on a metal button found in Emily's backpack, recovered near the burial site. The DNA belonged to a relative of Patrick Avery, a former delivery driver with a record of assault and a brief stint living in the Aurora area in the late 90s. But once again, the case hit a wall. Avery had died in 2012, without a direct DNA sample and with no other evidence tying him to Emily. The lead remained just that, a possibility. Despite everything, Emily's story lives on. A scholarship fund in her name helps support local students pursuing music, and criminal justice. Her disappearance helped usher in reforms that brought genealogy technology into Colorado's cold case investigations. And each year, on July 12th, her family returns to the street corner where she was last seen. They light candles, lay flowers, and sit quietly, waiting still for justice.